Bhavni, a 29-year-old mother from Chennai, started playing online rummy late at night, hoping to win big. Her early wins pulled her in, but soon the losses piled up. She drained her savings, sold family gold, and lost over $24,000. Despite everything, Bhavni couldn't stop. A few months later, the pressure became unbearable. She took her own life, leaving behind 2 children and a husband, now burdened by debts from a game that promised riches but delivered ruin. And Bhavni's case is not isolated. India has more than 140 million users regularly participating in online real games, from rummy and poker to fantasy cricket. During events like the Indian Premier League, the number surges to over 370 million users. One major driver: fantasy sports apps like Dream11 and My11Circle. These platforms, heavily endorsed by celebrities and influencers, are promoted as game of skill. But the line between skill and chance is far blurrier than the companies would have you believe. So why are these platforms allowed to operate so freely? Why is it so easy to lose everything? And why isn't law stopping it? Online betting and fantasy gaming are growing industries in India. According to iMark, the Indian sports betting market was valued at nearly $7 billion last year. The same group estimates that the market will reach nearly $17 billion by 2033, a staggering growth of over 7% per year. But gambling is not new to either the Indian peninsula or the world. It is deeply embedded in Indian history. In Mahabharata, one of 2 major Sanskrit epics of ancient India, gambling plays a pivotal role, particularly in the form of a dice game. Yudhishthira, famed for his righteousness, is lured into gambling by the deceitful Duryodhana. One by one, he loses everything: his kingdom, his brothers, and even his wife, Draupadi. The game of dice becomes a symbol of how greed blinds judgment, a moment that leads to ruin and war. Just like in the epic, today's fantasy gaming and betting platforms exploit that same desire: to win, to gain, to have more, and they know exactly how to keep you playing. The same greed that ruined kings now drives billion-dollar apps, and we are the ones gambling with everything to play. One of the main reasons over 370 million Indians participate in online real money games is due to the rapid growth of internet and increased usage of smartphones. Mobile apps have played a pivotal role in boosting the Indian sports betting market share, where cricket dominates and is complemented by football, esports, and kabaddi. As of now, fantasy games involving real money are legal and practiced all over country. But unlike the days of kings and epics, today's gambling is not played out in the royal courts. It's on smartphones, powered by algorithms, celebrity endorsements, and legal loopholes. In India, gambling is mostly illegal under the Public Gambling Act of 1867, a colonial-era law that still defines how we talk about betting today. But there's a catch. The law doesn't apply to game of skill, only to game of chance. According to Indian law, a game of chance is mainly determined by random factors or luck, where players have little or no control over the outcome, and practice or strategy has limited impact. Meanwhile, a game of skill is primarily determined by the player's mental or physical skill as well as its knowledge. Although there may be an element of chance, like shuffling cards in rummy, they say skill predominates in determining who wins. In other words, player can improve their chances of winning through practice, learning, and strategy. And that's where the multi-billion-dollar fantasy gaming industry has found its shield. Platforms like Dream11, MPL, and My11Circle claim to be skill-based, not gambling. Dream11 posts proudly on their website that a game of skill where players must use their expertise, talent, knowledge, and strategies to analyze, think, and develop techniques to win is a legal activity. They even use slogans such as Khelo Dimag Se, which means play with your mind, to satisfy their legal team and to support their claim of legality. They argue that if you are selecting players based on your cricket knowledge and statistics, that constitutes as a skill. Therefore, fantasy cricket falls under the category of game of skill. But here is the problem. These platforms look, feel, and function like any other betting app. Real money is on the line. Winning depends not just on knowledge, but also on unpredictable performances, weather conditions, and often sheer luck. There are millions of people playing all over the country, which results in tons of combinations that can lead to a victory. This effectively means that no matter how much knowledge you have, you will still end up on the losing sides. While fantasy games may involve a degree of skill, I would say it's still marginal, and luck often plays a far bigger role in determining outcomes. If that were the case, famous cricketers who advertise for these sites would always win. So the question is, are these really skilled games, or just well-marketed gambling in disguise? Well, turn on the TV during an IPL match, scroll through Instagram, or watch cricket highlights, and chances are you will see one of them: MS Dhoni, Shubman Gill, Suryakumar Yadav, or even Rishabh Pant. Big-name cricket legends smiling as they urge you to download Dream11 or My11Circle.
सर ये हमारी टीम का बेस्ट लेजर बन सकता है।
अच्छा ले लेते हैं सर, इतनी तो डेयरिंग आप में भी नहीं है।
These platforms spend millions on celebrity endorsements, often creating the illusion that joining is not just fun. It's smart, strategic. Play with your mind, says one slogan, as I mentioned earlier. Use your cricketing knowledge, says another. But here is the problem. When kids and teens see their sporting heroes promoting these apps, it sends a powerful message. If your idol is doing it, how bad can it be? This form of marketing doesn't just normalize gambling-like behavior, it glamorizes it. It sells a fantasy that anyone can get rich overnight. And for a country where millions of young people struggle with unemployment and financial stress, these platforms don't just offer games. They sell hope. False hope, to be really honest. Because research has shown that people in financially difficult situations are more likely to be drawn to opportunities, real or perceived, even if those opportunities are not entirely rational or statistically favorable. And the numbers back it up. Last year, India's average monthly salary was around 32,000 rupees. That's about $369. The median income is even lower. For millions, just winning 10,000 rupees from a fantasy app could feel life-changing. So when a cricket hero says, play and win big, the message hits harder. Not just because fans look up to them, but because for many people, these apps promise to pay more in minutes than they can earn in a whole month. But why do so many fall into the trap? We have already touched upon their irresistible advertisements and appeals. But there is more to it. It often starts with a win, a small one. Maybe you earn 500 rupees on your first try. It feels good. You feel smart. You think, I can do this. That's how it begins, with intermittent reinforcement. That's a psychological trick where occasional rewards keep you coming back for more. The same logic used in slot machines or social media likes, for instance. Apps like Dream11 are engineered to keep you engaged. Push notifications remind you of upcoming matches. Influencers and former cricketers constantly advertise and remind their audience of how they can make money through their own knowledge. And add to that the illusion of control. The idea that you are in charge because you are picking players based on stats. But when over 100 million others are doing the same, does your choice really matter? And then there is sunk cost fallacy. You have lost money. You want to win it back. So you keep playing. Just one more game. One more team. One more chance. Until it's too late. India is witnessing the rise of a digital revolution. Fantasy sports, online rummy, and betting platforms are everywhere. For many, it feels like entertainment. For companies, it's profit. But behind the glitzy ads and cricket-themed apps lies a darker reality. Broken homes, silent addiction, and lives ruined by losses they never thought was possible. So we must ask, should apps that mirror gambling be allowed to call themselves harmless game of skill? Should celebrities, trusted by millions of young fans, be allowed to glamorize something that can destroy families? Bhavni's story is not just a personal tragedy. It's a warning. A system that markets risk as reward and chance as strategy is not a game. It's a trap. Whether you are a fan or a policymaker or just someone scrolling the App Store, ask yourself, what are we really playing for? If the answer is money I cannot afford to lose, maybe it's not a game worth playing.